Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. You find it strange that after all these years, with more Bigfoot researchers out in the field than ever before, we still don't have any concrete proof of its existence? Nothing. There's nothing out there. We're looking in all the wrong places. We're not even supposed to be looking in places, I don't think. I think it's more about a feeling and a vibration than it is going to a location. I've been in some really remote backcountry locations and I've had weird experiences, but never like an actual sighting of anything. I could be like, oh, that's Bigfoot for sure. They always walked the line of like, I don't know, they always just seemed more paranormal than anything. Nothing was ever a concrete physical manifestation of anything. It was always a threshold kind of experience. Something is out there that kind of walks between this reality and some other reality. A lot of people have had experiences like that, strange experiences that they just can't be explained with logic and with like a scientific mind, basically. Bigfoot seems to be more of like a mythological thing. However, it's real. Like, it can leave footprints in the mud. It can manipulate the environment. It can break sticks. It can leave hairs behind. But like people have found these pieces of trace evidence. They've found what they think are nests of these creatures. However, the Bigfoot itself is elusive. It's like it exists in a slightly different version of reality until you shift somehow into that dimension or that frequency. Like, I don't know, where do they go? Once people see them, they just disappear again. And even today, like with thermal cameras and drones, we have crazy drone technology. Like, we have some pretty fancy drones with thermal imaging. You would think somebody would go out with one of these things and be able to find these creatures. We have all this technology. Still nothing. No Bigfoot has been recorded with a thermal drone that I know of that's been like confirmed. We haven't been able to track them down. We know general areas where they exist. Like, there's the habituation site in Nordegg, the famous tree structure site that I've been to. Like, I'm sure they're there. But where are they there? It's a small, like, we should be able to prove that they exist because people have had countless experiences there. Yet still nothing. We'll find tracks, we'll hear whistles, we'll, have stuff happen like that, but having the actual visual encounter and getting the footage is just as elusive as the Bigfoot itself. It's like, where are they? I think they're somewhere else. Now, I came up with the term archetypal convergence for my idea or theory of, the wild man being an ancient archetype that's been developed since the dawn of man, since we were walking alongside other hominids. Archetypal convergence is where you find yourself at the frequency where that archetype exists, and it somehow projects a wild man experience into your reality. Now, the term archetypal convergence could mean other things too. It doesn't necessarily mean having a contact experience. So I came up with another term called mytherial contact, and that's when you actually see the creature and have a paranormal experience. So all cases of archetypal convergence won't result in mytherial contact, because you can also have other things happen, like strange dreams maybe, or I don't know, strange synchronicities, or maybe a gift or something will be left out for you, or it could be something like that. But I came up with the term mytherial contact, which is where you actually make contact with the creature, with the legend. So archetypal convergence is where you match the frequency and an experience of some kind happens. It doesn't have to be an actual sighting. It can be anything. It could be like a vocalization. It could be something appearing in a dream, or It could be mind speak or something like that, telepathic communication. And Mytherial contact is, something along the lines of the Patterson-Gimlin encounter, where you see the thing and it's like confirmed. Wow, there it is. When you think of the wild man archetype and the possibility that Bigfoot encounters are projections of consciousness, the mind speak and the telepathic communication stuff starts to really make sense, because it's coming from your mind already. It would make sense that something coming from your mind would be able to communicate that way, because it's not something communicating to you, it's already inside of you. So it could be what's actually going on. The alignment with the wild man archetype, or even just, your idea of what Bigfoot is, it could bring about some of these weird experiences. And I think it's the case with a lot of other paranormal phenomena. And the only way to prove it is to put yourself out in nature, out in these environments, and kind of live like a wild man or whatever. Try and get yourself in that frequency, in that vibration as much as possible. Spend as much time out in the wilderness as possible. Bring books on Sasquatch, all the material, like fully immerse yourself in that world. And just be completely open to the possibilities. Because I feel like if you're completely open to it, you have a better chance of having something happen. You get people that aren't believers at all, and they do have experiences, but it could be because they're unknowingly entering that frequency somehow, maybe by being in the woods, just in nature, in that environment, maybe by feeling different fears or something. Like I said in previous videos, it's a conscious co-creation, so you're only responsible for half of it. And the other half is, being done by higher consciousness, by God consciousness. And there's a possibility that this God consciousness could choose people to, have that experience. And it could just be to open people up to the possibilities, take a closed-minded person, put them out in the woods, and then give them that experience, and boom, they've unlocked another part of their consciousness, and all of a sudden they're evolving spiritually and consciously. It can take, a complete skeptic and turn them into a believer in an instant. So, yeah. I think if people don't, take control of their conscious evolution themselves, that God consciousness will find a way to do it for them eventually through various experiences. It could be crazy life experiences, things going wrong, and it could be a paranormal experience. We just don't know yet, but I'm going to continue exploring these ideas, and hopefully, just like I've been having with the UFO phenomena, sightings and being able to document footage, I'm hoping to have some sort of wild man experience. Because I've had weird ones where you hear stuff walking around in the woods, walking past your tent, you hear footfall on the ground, you hear branches breaking, you hear whistles, you have weird stuff happen like that, and I think you're very close when you have those experiences to having a full-blown encounter where you actually see the thing. And also, thinking about it, if this is the cause of a lot of these paranormal experiences, like Bigfoot, UFOs, and ghosts and all that kind of stuff, it could explain the connection between Bigfoot and UFOs. It could easily just be linked to a certain archetype. Like there's the seeker archetype, where you're looking for weird stuff. You're seeking more knowledge. You're seeking conscious expansion. So some people might have an experience where they see both the UFOs and Bigfoot. I was surprised to have UFO experiences before Bigfoot experiences, because I thought I was like super into the Bigfoot phenomena. I was thinking, man, one day I will see this thing and I will film it. And then all of a sudden I'm documenting UFOs. So it didn't really make any sense, but you know, it's interesting nonetheless. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.